Hello everyone, pag-usapan natin ang Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004. Ito din po ay kilala sa Republic Act number 9275. At meron pong regulasyon tungkol sa batas na ito. Ang DNR ay dapat mag-come up with a implementing rules and regulations. So meron tayong DAW 2005-10. Ito na po yung implementing rules and regulations of the Philippine Clean Water Act. I hope you will learn sa ating discussion ngayon tungkol sa salient points ng Philippine Clean Water Act. Magamit natin sa ating mga trabaho, magamit natin bilang mga mabuting katiwala ng kapaligiran. Ang Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004, ito po ay naisa batas at na-approve po ito noong March 22, 2004 sa kapanahunan din ng selebrasyon ng World Water Day. Pinirmahan po ito. This law is signed into law um, after signing by the former President of the Republic of the Philippines, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Ang batas na ito ay effective na nung na ipasa ito nung May 6, 2004 at nagkaroon na rin po ng implementing rules and regulation at naging effective po ito nung May 26, 2005. So meron tayong batas na pang tubig, kagaya din ng batas na panghangin, at ganoon din sa mga basura o mga kemikal. Malaking bagay ang Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004 dahil ito yung komprehensibong policy for the management ng tubig sa buong bansa, ang bansang Pilipinas. At naka-focus syempre kung paano ma-prevent, paano ma-control ang anumang pollution sa ating mga katubigan sa ilang libong isla sa buong bansa na napapalibutan ng tubig. So yung ating mga katubigan, whether ito ay fresh water, kung ito man ay brackish water or marine water, they are covered by this law. Uh, Kailangan maproteksyonan ang mga water body na ito galing sa mga tubig na may kasamang dumi sa iba't ibang industry category, sa iba't ibang sektor. So, dapat ang batas na ito ay maging epektibo para yung ating water resources ay mapakinabangan sa ah, henerasyon na ito at sa mga darating pa. Ang Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004, it covers all water bodies in our country. At merong mga salient provisions ang batas na ito, lalong-lalo yung standard ng kalidad ng tubig na meron tayo sa buong bansa at kung anong kalidad ng tubig ang dapat i-discharge sa ating mga water body. Siyempre, merong civil liability na napapaloob sa batas na ito at penalties, lalong-lalo doon sa mga polluters, doon sa mga operators, owners ng mga facilities na nagdi-discharge ng wastewater sa ating mga water bodies. Kung ang ating Philippine Clean Water Act ay magiging epektibo sa henerasyon na ito, ang malaking benefit na mararanasan ay ng mga susunod na henerasyon. So probably merong effective implementation ng Clean Water Act for this generation na kunting impact, positive impact na ma-enjoy, maranasan. Pero ang mas makakaranas ng napagandang impact nito, positive impact, ay yung susunod na henerasyon. Now, in Section 4 ng batas na ito, the Clean Water Act, meron tayong term na ginagamit itong point source. It means, I read and I quote, based on Section 4, point source means identifiable source of pollution with specific point of discharge into a particular water body. So yung ating mga sewage treatment plant, yung ating mga wastewater treatment plant, yung ating mga septic tank, oil and grease interceptor, oil and water separator, any kind of system na merong tayong mga outlet pipes. Yung outlet pipes na yon is our point source at nagdi-discharge na ito sa ating mga water bodies. Meron din tayong term na ginagamit like effluent. This means discharges from known source. So ito na yung point source which is passed into a body of water or land or wastewater flowing out of a manufacturing plant, industrial plant, including domestic, commercial, and recreational facilities. So itong point source ay magagamit natin in investigating kung saan nagmumula ang pollution sa ating mga katubigan. So if we can identify multiple point sources galing sa mga outlet pipes ng septic tank ng restaurant, galing sa mga outlet pipe ng treatment system ng isang hospital, at yung effluent, yung mismong representative water na dinidispose na natin or dinidischarge back to the environment, whether wholly or completely treated, yun yung effluent. So, yung quality ng effluent na dinidischarge natin back to the environment can be the reflection kung anong water quality din ng water body. As shown on the screen, yung isang water body, kung ano ang quality ng water body na yan, dahil na rin doon sa quality ng effluent na dinidischarge natin dyan sa water body. So, napakalaki ng role ng Philippine Clean Water Act kasi meron tayong standard set for effluent para hindi ma-alter ang quality nung certain water body. Now, ang iba't ibang sektor, iba't ibang industry categories, probably mayroong iba't ibang activities, may mga environmental aspect na may kanyang environmental impact. Yan yung water pollution. So sa commercial, industrial, institutional, agricultural sector, maraming mga activities na magko-contribute sa quality ng tubig, yung effluent. Kung ano yung activity, yun yung magiging quality ng effluent. And kung ito ay pa-pass through sa mga outlet pipes natin, and then i-determinate natin or i-discharge natin sa water body. Kung ano yung quality ng tubig na discharge, most probably will affect the quality of the water body. So the DNREMB is continuously classifying and continuously reclassifying water bodies kung ano yung quality ng tubig na yon as determined by its classification. So makikita mo kung ano yung classification ng water body dyan dahil din sa profile ng mga sektor. So halimbawa, mas maraming commercial, mas maraming industrial, institutional, agricultural um, projects or businesses, yung makikita mo yung quality din ng tubig dyan. So as a pollution control officer and managing head ng ating establishment, we need to check kung ano yung quality ng tubig na malapit sa atin. If we will get sample sa immediate water body and bring it to the laboratory for analysis. Ano kayang quality ng tubig? And sa atin na nagdi-discharge ng tubig dyan sa particular water body, merong tayong contribution kung anong nangyayari doon sa tubig. Now, ang Section 5 ng Clean Water Act, sinasabi na dapat mag-designate ang DNR ng tinatawag na Water Quality Management Area. So kapag ka itong isang watershed, river basins, or water resources region, ma-declare ng DNR in coordination with National Water Resources Board as Water Quality Management Area na bibigyan ng focus kung ano ang quality ng tubig nito at paano ma-abate, makontrol ang pollution dyan sa area yan. To ensure na ma-abate, makontrol ang anumang pollution sa isang area, naglalagay ng governing board, and usually it composed of representatives from different offices, representatives of mayors and governors, of member local government units, representatives of relevant national government agencies, duly registered non-governmental organization, water utility sector, and business sector. Ang governing board na ito ang titingin sa mga program para po masiguro na yung area na to, itong water quality management area, ay mapangalagaan, masiguro ang protection from land-based sources to make sure na yung water body ay protected from pollution sources. Ang typical example, napakalaking watershed, napakalaking water resource ang Laguna Lake na nasa administration ng Laguna Lake Development Authority. The Laguna Lake Development Authority is the authority in managing the water quality management area, itong Laguna Lake. So nasa loob ng Laguna de Bay region. So kapag merong mga potential sources of water pollution, regulated siyempre ng LLDA yung mga discharges nito sa kanilang Laguna Lake, sa kanilang water resource. So dapat tingnan ng LLDA yung quality ng tubig dyan sa area na yan at mapangalagaan ito, masustain yung quality. At yung mga regulations, standards set by Republic Act 9275, ina-adapt ng authority na to. So, sa Section 7 ng Clean Water Act, meron ding naitalagang programa dapat sa isang local government unit. Sa Section 7, ito ang tumutukoy sa National Sewerage and Septage Management Program. So, ang isang LGU dapat mag-establish ng sewerage septage management system through the enactment of an ordinance. So, sa iba't ibang mga cities, meron tayong mga sewerage and septage management system. Merong mga treatment facility silang ini-install at nag-accommodate sila ng mga wastewater ng sewage from different sources, especially domestic wastewater. At ito na yung ah, role ng LGU na linisin yung tubig na yon galing sa mga residential o galing sa mga household, yung tubig na galing sa kanilang mga septic tank. At ito ngayon ililinisin sa kanilang treatment facility to protect the water body within the jurisdiction. So minsan mag-i-invest ang LGU ng ganitong technology, magko-construct ng ganitong facility. The primary reason ay to protect water body from sources of pollution, gaya ng mga tubig galing sa mga septic tank, ng mga bahay-bahay. So, hindi pa lahat ng LGU may ganyan, may mga sewerage, septage, or combined sewerage septage project. Kaya malaking hamon pa sa bawat isa sa atin kung paano mapapanatiling malinis ang ating katubigan. Now, ang Republic Act 9275 implements the wastewater charge system as exemplified in Section 13 of RA 9275. They establish the basis of payment to the government for discharging wastewater into the water bodies. At Section 14 provides the policy on the requirement for discharge permit, which refers to the legal authorization issued by DNR to discharge wastewater. The discharge permit specifies the quantity and quality of the effluent. The discharge permit provides authorization to discharge wastewater within the prescribed limit. So, in a certain establishment, if they are using water and generate wastewater, they must have a legal authorization to discharge this wastewater to the environment. And it's based on Section 14 of Clean Water Act. Now, the Section 14 referring to the discharge permit, mayroong dalawang discharge permit na pwedeng tingnan dito. Yung discharge permit issued by DENR through the Environmental Management Bureau. So sa buong bansa, meron tayong mga EMB regional offices na nag-i-issue ng discharge permit sa mga operators, owners ng mga establishments. Meron ding discharge permit issued by Laguna Lake Development Authority or LLDA, especially for those establishment within the Laguna de Bay region. Under the administration of LLDA, nag-i-issue siyempre ng kanyang discharge permit. So in essence, may discharge permit dapat ang isang establishment, whether commercial, industrial, institutional, agricultural man, at that is in compliance with the Clean Water Act. So those who failed to secure discharge permit, nagba-violate sila dito sa policy na ito. Now, sa pag-apply ng discharge permit, ngayon we have the Online Permitting and Monitoring System or OPMS. If you are under the jurisdiction of DNR EMB in compliance with RA 9275, mag-a-apply ka ng discharge permit through Online Permitting and Monitoring System. Gawa ka lang ng account and then submit mo yung mga requirements for discharge permit application. At dyan mo na rin ma-download yung approved discharge permit. Sa pag-apply ng discharge permit sa online permitting and monitoring system, we are completing step 1 to 4, providing information. Tapos step number 5, i-generate natin yung application form. Then step number 6, sa online permitting and monitoring system, we upload all the documents needed for the application. At again, dyan nyo na madadownload ang discharge permit once approved. Kung mag apply naman ng discharge permit sa LLDA, walang online platform. Kaya punta ka mismo directly or personally sa LLDA office sa Quezon City, National Capital Region. Magsasubmit ka ng mga requirements. Of course, yung application form duly signed by the owner or operator of the establishment, co-signed by the PCO or representative, pinapanotaryo itong application form and then attach mo yung mga documentary requirements needed for discharge permit application. And once approved, pipick upin mo na lang doon sa opisina ng LLDA, let's say after 21 days during the time na na-receive niyo yung application mo. Kung merong kulang sa pinasa mong requirements, papadalan ka niyan ng notice or ng letter to inform you nung kailangan mong i-comply. So kapag ka na-approve ang discharge permit, dyan na po mismo sa opisina nila, pipick upin yung permit. Those establishments that are located within Laguna de Bay region are under the jurisdiction of LLDA. So yung Rizal, Laguna, selected cities, municipalities ng Batangas, sa Cavite, Quezon, at sa Metro Manila ang nasambit sa mandato, geographical mandate ng LLDA na nakikita natin sa screen. Yan yung mga cities, municipalities, provinces na nasa jurisdiction ng LLDA. At mag-a-apply tayo ng discharge permit sa LLDA, hindi sa DENR EMB. Kailangan ko pa bang mag-apply ng discharge permit sa DNR EMB? Hindi na. Dito na lang sa LLDA. Now, the requirements for discharge permit application depende sa opisinang applyan. Halimbawa, sa DNR EMB, if we will apply for discharge permit, may mga sets of requirements. And also depends on type of application, kung ito ay new or renewal. Siyempre, may validity ang discharge permit. Usually, nakalagay naman kasi ay up to 5 years. So, merong 5 taon, merong 2 taon, merong 1 taon na validity. So, magkakaroon talaga ng renewal. For new application, meaning first time, you need to submit notarized application form, copy of the ECC or CNC, PCO accreditation or appointment letter, DNR ID number as a hazardous waste generator, water billing statement for the whole year, drawing plans and layout signed and sealed by sanitary or chemical engineer, an engineer's report signed by the PCO and approved by the managing head, and other documents as deemed necessary. And then official receipt of payment. Merong application fee amounting to 95 pesos. Then meron ding load-based fee. Ah, so dalawang resibo din ang ipapasa mo dyan. Sa renewal, the notarized application form, copy of the latest discharge permit, PCO accreditation, DNR ID number, result of laboratory analysis, copy of the self-monitoring report, proof of compliance to permit conditions and other documents needed or deemed necessary, then the official receipt of payment. So these are the sets of requirements for discharge permit application. And those who are renting a commercial space or commercial complex, if you can establish that you have your certificate of interconnection issued by the owner, operator, pwedeng ma-exempt tayo sa discharge permit under DNR EMB. If you are a locator in an industrial park, you are renting certain land and then nagtayo ka ng facility, tapos meron ka ngayong point source, kukonect mo ngayon sa centralized wastewater treatment plant ng industrial park. So, ma-exempt ka din sa discharge permit if you are under DNR EMB jurisdiction. Doon sa mga connected sa mga public sewer line, if you are connected to a public sewer line operated by the local water provider. Tapos pag tiningnan mo yung water bill mo, may nakalagay doon sa bill na sewer fee. Yun. Ang situation, pwedeng ma-exempt ka for discharge permit under DNR EMB. So you need to establish connection sa building, connection sa centralized treatment plant, connection sa public sewer line para mailipat ang accountability ng permitting requirement. Not necessarily exempted ka to comply with um, RA 9275. Na i-transfer lang yung accountability in securing permits. So kapag kayo ay merong building and then syempre sa isang building may mga areas na kailangan ng tubig. Doon pwede magsimula ang generation ng wastewater. So the source of wastewater generation coming from different areas ng building. At yung kung saan tinatapon, nagti-terminate yung drainage natin, conveying wastewater from different sources of wastewater generation. Yun na yung magiging source of pollution. And eventually, lalabas yung tubig sa ating mga facility, sa ating source of pollution. At yun na yung ating point source. At yung point source na to, doon ngayon lalabas ang ating mga tubig na may kasama ng dumi. Tawag natin ay effluent. So gaya dito sa screen, may mga areas tayo sa isang building na pwedeng pagmulan ng wastewater generation. Like dito sa sink, sa CR, at magte-terminate sa ating mga septic tank or treatment system At yan naman ay may mga outlet pipes at yun na yung ating point source. And eventually, magdi-discharge na ng effluent whether completely treated or partially treated. At yan na yung iniingatan natin na pwede makaapekto sa ating water bodies. To ensure na protected ang ating water bodies from sources of pollution, based on Section 19, meron tayong effluent standard. Of course, meron old regulation pero meron bagong regulation. At ito na yung DAO 2016-08, our famous water quality guidelines and general effluent standard. So all our wastewater flowing out of our treatment facilities, partially or completely treated na tinatawag nating effluent, must conform to the effluent standard if we will discharge this to the environment. If you are if you are doubt doon sa quality na baka hindi pumasa sa standard, wag mong i-discharge para wala kang requirements sa effluent standard. But if you will discharge that water regardless of the volume, masasubject ka sa testing requirement and shall comply with the effluent standard per DAO 2016-08. May mga parameters na imo-monitor ka in coordination with EMB accredited environmental laboratory. Kukuha ng sample doon sa point of discharge, dadalhin sa laboratory for analysis. So, check mo na lang yung result kung pumapasa dito sa mga standard values. Halimbawa, meron tayong parameter na BOD. And then, ang water body na malapit sa atin, classified ng DNR EMB as Class C. So, yung BOD na parameter, ang standard na gagamitin ay yung base doon sa classification ng water body kung saan tayo nagdi-discharge. So, halimbawa, BOD, ang parameter, 50. Sa TSS, 100. So, dapat yung ating effluent pumasa doon sa limit na yon. So, we shall not exceed the standard set by DNR. Pagka lumagpas ka doon, we are violating this standard. At dyan ngayon papasok yung mga provision ng penalty. So we need to make sure na ang ating mga effluent shall conform with the general effluent standard. At kung kaya ay nasa loob ng Laguna de Bay region, same din naman. So they are adapting the standard set by DNR. Ang nag impose lang nito ay ang LLDA. And ang mga standards na yan, based on Clean Water Act, dapat ito ay nire-review. So kaya yung dati merong old regulation like DOUT 35, nagkaroon ng DOUT 2016-08. So kung kailan naman ulit magkaroon ng bagong set of standard, wala naman option kundi mag-comply na tayo dun sa mga bagong standard. In some parameters, gaya nung ammonia. Eh, sa ammonia, merong standard na 0.5 and doon sa standard na yon, dati na 0.5 ay napalitan na ng standard. Imbes na 0.5, based sa bagong regulation, instead na 0.5, naging ng 4. Yun ay dahil mayroong bagong standard. Lalo yung nakasulat doon sa DAO 2021-19. So as a owner ng ating mga facilities, o kayo ang mga operator, o kayo mga PCO, we need to be updated doon sa mga standard ng DNR. So kung nagkakaroon ng bagong standard at kung kailangan nating mag-invest sa bagong technology, gagawin natin yun kasi yun ang standard. Like kung meron kayong discharge permit, so kapag nagkaroon kayo ng discharge permit issued by DNR, EMB, nakasulat dyan yung mga parameters like BOD, fecal coliform, ammonia, nitrate, phosphate, oil in grease, surfactants. Nakasulat sa ating permit kung ano yung imo-monitor natin kung meron tayong actual discharge sa ating water body. So kapag may actual discharge, dapat mayroong testing. So if we are discharging wastewater at meron tayong discharge permit, nakasulat na doon yung parameter na ipapatest natin. As shown nga ulit sa screen, sa discharge permit, nakasulat na yung mga imo-monitor natin na parameter. And it shall comply with the standard set by DNR. So we see to it na hindi nag-exceed doon sa standard set by DNR. Ito yung General Effluent Standard. So ang tanong lang, do you have an actual wastewater discharge? If yes, kuha ka ng sample, i-analyze ito sa laboratory, tingnan mo yung result of laboratory analysis kung pumapasa sa General Effluent Standard. Pero kung wala ka namang wastewater discharge, di wala kang testing requirement. Kung wala kang direct wastewater discharge sa ating environment, so walang ano, testing requirement. So make sure to conduct testing kung may discharge, may actual discharge. Pero kung walang actual discharge, wala. Walang testing requirement. Now, sa Section 27 ng batas na ito, the Clean Water Act, may mga activities na pinagbabawal. So dito wala na tayong kailangang i-interpret kasi sinasabi na mismo yung acts that are prohibited. Section 27 ng Clean Water Act. Discharging, depositing, or causing to be deposited material of any kind directly or indirectly into the water bodies or along the margins of any surface water where the same shall be liable to be washed into such surface water either by tide action or by storm, floods, or otherwise which could cause water pollution or impede natural flow in the water body. So, bawal yan. Yung mga tambak ng basura, waste material, lalo at lalo malalapit sa ating mga water bodies or along the margins Lalong-lalo kung nakakaharang na sa flow ng ating water body. Aba sa river, o kung marami ng basura sa palibot ng river at nagkukos na ng pagbara ng daloy ng tubig, bawal yun. Pwede tayong ma-subject sa penalty. Bawal din syempre yung discharging, injecting or allowing to seep into the soil or subsoil any substance in any form that would pollute groundwater. Diyan na pumapasok yung mga sources of pollution gaya ng septic tank na ang ilalim ay hindi concrete. Usually sa mga construction ng septic tank, lupa lang yung ilalim. Maaring yung first chamber ay concrete. Unang tubig napapasok sa septic tank, concrete ang ilalim. Pero yung overflow, yung sa sunod na chamber, ay lupa na. So, ganun din. It will reach our groundwater. Mako-contaminate na yung ating groundwater. Sa mga may sanitary landfill na or mga landfill na walang plastic liner, o di yung leachate pwedeng mapunta sa ating groundwater. Kaya bawal na bawal yon. To determine kung contaminated na yung groundwater, naglalagay ng mga monitoring well. Kukuha ng sample ng tubig sa upstream, saka sa downstream. Malalaman mo kung contaminated na ba yung groundwater ng mga toxic substances na nage-generate sa mga landfill. Oh, ano mang activities that allows the percolation of substances, toxic substances through the soil, reaching groundwater, eh, kasama yan sa prohibited acts. Operating facilities that discharge regulated water pollutants without the valid required permits or after the permit was revoked for any violation of any condition therein. Mga tubig naman natin, once nagamit na, meron ng pollutant dyan. Halimbawa, we are flushing um, wastewater from our toilets. Contaminated na to ng sewage. Contaminated na to ng ating mga excreta, yung urine at feces. O di may mga bacteria, may mga coliforms na nag-contaminate dito sa water na to. If we don't have discharge permit sa mga ating facilities, we are committing this prohibited act. Operating facilities that discharge regulated water pollutants without valid required permits. If we are operating without valid discharge permit, we are violating this provision. Pwede tayong subject to penalty. Those who are using septic tank, oil ingress interceptor, may mga wastewater treatment plant, sewage treatment plant. Ano ba mga purpose niyan? Ma-contain mo ang tubig for a short period of time and eventually i-discharge mo. If you don't have a valid discharge permit, which is the legal authorization to discharge wastewater into the environment, o edi you are committing Section 27, letter C. O, bawal yon. Or kung na-revoke na, nagdi-discharge pa din, bawal din. The disposal of potentially infectious medical waste into seawater by vessels, unless the health or safety of individuals on board the vessel is threatened by a great and imminent peril. So, bawal na bawal mag-discharge ng mga infectious medical waste into seawater. Ano ba naman mangyayari dyan pagka nag-discharge ka ng ganyang mga tubig sa ating water bodies? Although merong assimilative capacity, the capacity of our water bodies to purify any pollution, sana regulated yung discharge. So, binagbabawal lalong-lalo kung infectious medical waste yun. Now, bawal din ang unauthorized transport or dumping into seawaters of sewage or solid waste as defined under RA 9003. Bawal din. Kahit naman tanggalin na nga natin ang batas, sa moral aspect na lang, bawal talaga. Kasi dumi na natin ang ating environment. So, transport, dumping, or discharge of prohibited chemicals, substances, or pollutants listed under RA 6969. Bawal din yan. Now, operate facilities that discharge or allow to sip willfully or through gross negligence prohibited chemicals, substances, or pollutants listed under RA 6969 into water bodies or wherein the same shall be liable to be washed into such surface, ground, coastal, and marine water. O bawal na bawal din. Undertaking activities or development and expansion of projects or operating wastewater or sewerage facilities in violation of PD 1586 and its IRR. Bawal din. At pagka ganyan, magkakaroon tayo dyan ng notice of violation kung lalo na i-complain na tayo o nakita may ebidensya na ng mga prohibited acts committed, papadalang kanya ng notice of violation ng DNR EMB. So kung saan mang region tayo located, yung respective regional office ng EMB ang mag-issue sa atin ng notice of violation or NOV. Notice lang yon. Pero may ground na. Bakit naman may issue ng notice kung walang violation ng Section 27? So kapag napatunayan na gross yung violation, may evidence lalong-lalo, pwedeng mag-issue ng CDO. Immediately stop activities that cause or threaten to cause serious environmental harm, particularly water, air, or land pollution. So, iniingatan natin wag magkaroon ng ganitong mga notices dahil at first meron ng, ibig sabihin, meron ng na-violate na provision ng batas, pwede pang dumating sa punto na ipasara tayo. So, Section 28 provides fines, damages, and penalties. Fines of 10,000 to 200,000 Philippine peso for every day of violation upon pub recommendation. Pero yung 10,000 to 200,000 nung panahon na naipasa ang batas 2004. And tumataas yung minimum and maximum amount of fines under this law every 2 years. So rates to be increased 10% every 2 years. So yung 10,000 dati, 2004, kung ngayon ay 2025 na, makikita mo dito sa scale, kung 10,000 ang minimum, ngayon 25,937.42. At yung maximum ay 518,748.49. Closure, suspension of development or construction, or cessation of operations upon pub recommendation. Meron na isang facility na may complaint sa public. So, nirecommend ng pub na isuspend or mag-cease muna sa operation hanggat di nakokorek yung violation. Yung pala, yung wastewater ay dinidischarge sa water body na hindi pumapasa sa general effluent standard. So, anong marapat gawin? Suspend muna ang operation para hindi makapag-damage ng water bodies. At kung may mga damages and nag-fail to clean up, iba pang usapan lalo. 2 to 4 year imprisonment for failure to clean up and 50,000 to 100,000 for every day of violation. We can refer to PUB Resolution 2021-05 for this PUB rules. Kaya kailangan nating tingnan yung ating mga role. Titingnan natin na gagampanan ba natin yung ating role, particularly monitoring ng wastewater discharge. Section 28, lalo fines, damages and penalties na ang usapan. Huwag tayong mabigyan ng mga notice of violation, huwag tayong mabigyan ng mga CDO kasi may mga corresponding fines. Ito, may mga penalties na lalo pag napatunayan yan through the technical conference. So, hanggat maaari, i-monitor natin yung ating mga activities that we do not commit Section 27 of the Philippine Clean Water Act para hindi tayo umabot sa mga pagbabayad ng mga fines, penalties, worst scenario, closure, suspension of development or construction or cessation of operations. Pinaka malupit na dyan kung ipa-disconnect na upon recommendation of the pub na disconnect na nga ninyo ang water supply niya. So, sometimes, hindi lang administrative violation ang pwedeng mangyari, pwede pa magkaroon ng criminal liability. Lalong-lalo kung yung elements of the offense committed nag-result talaga sa harm sa ating water resources. Verified talaga na nag-cause ng harm. In case of gross violation, the PUB shall issue a resolution recommending that the proper government agencies file criminal charges against violator. The LGU, the DNR Field Office, NBI, Philippine Coast Guard, if the dumping or discharge is from offshore sources. Pwede nang ano, magkaroon ng criminal liability ang isang violator. Well, if particular elements para ma-charge criminally, dapat nandoon. If waste is dumped into the water source, water pollutants are discharged into the water source, water pollutant is verified to harm the water source. At kung may mga ebidensya na pwedeng mai-present, strong evidence, ang isang complainant, halimbawa may isang complainant, nakita niya nag-dump ng waste, nag-discharge ng wastewater containing regulated water pollutant. At meron siyang water sample, waste sample, water pollutant sample. Results of the examination or analysis of the sample. Nakikipag-coordinate siyempre sa mga agencies ng government to determine kung yung completeness ng evidence para makapag-establish ng criminal liability doon sa uh, violator. So we must avoid na mag-cause ng harm sa ating water source dahil pwede pong maging part yan na element ng criminal charge. So dapat panatilihin natin na malinis, compliant naman ang ating mga water na dinidischarge back to the environment. So if you are discharging wastewater compliant to standards set by DNR, wala namang problema. If we comply with the standards set by DNR. Pero itong pinag-usapan natin, criminal liabilities na ang tubig mo na discharge nagkukos na ng harm. So, madali nang kuhanan niya ng mga samples. Madali nang tingnan kung bumabagsak ba. I-verify lang yan. So, Republic Act 9275 is a comprehensive policy on water quality management in the Philippines. It's not already our choice to comply, but already a mandate. The owners, operators of the establishments, projects must comply with the DNR standards, regulations, avoid fines and penalties, avoid committing Section 27, yung mga prohibited acts. The pollution control officer, together with the managing head, shall ensure compliance to the requirements of the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004. So yun lamang. Thank you very much for time listening. And if you have question, you're encouraged to ask question below. Thank you very much. And you have learned something na um, magagamit nyo sa inyong trabaho, negosyo, and maging isang mabuting katiwala ng kapaligiran. Thank you very much everyone for time listening at mag-ingat tayong lahat. Thank you very much and God bless us all.